Okay, we're starting with page 14 in your STAAR Master book. Number 1 says, on which number line is the letter P closer to number 520? Okay, so you have to know what is about halfway between 500 and 600, or what is exactly halfway. What is in the middle of 500 and 600? Kaylee? 550. Good. So if this is 550, about in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and label the middle of all of these. Okay? 550. Now, if I am looking for a point that represents 520, would that point be over here or to the right of the middle?
Over here.
To the left? Okay, good. So I can automatically eliminate any ones that are over here to the right because that would make it more than 550. It has to be less. Okay? So B is wrong and C. So now we need to look at A or D. Okay? Here is point P on D, and then right here it's pretty close to 550. What number would be close to 550? Allie?
540.
Good. This is probably more like 540. Good, Allie. So would this one be closer to 520?
Yes.
Yes. So D would be correct. Now, who can tell me what this would round to? Would it round to 500 or 600? Bryson?
No.
Why would it round to 500?
Because if it's above 55 or 5, it goes to 600.
Okay, if it's above 50, it would go to 600. Good. So if it was past halfway, it would round up. If it's less than the middle, then it would round down. Plus, you can see this dot is very close to what? 500. Okay, it's not anywhere near close to 600. So we wouldn't want to round to 600 because that's what rounding is, right, Javea? It's the number that it's close to. Okay. Number 2. Which letter on the number line below marks the point closest to 98? Okay. So I'm skipping by tens, right? 80, 90, 100. So what would be right about here in the middle? Kelsey? Okay, good. So 95. What would be right here in between 80 and 90? Angeline? 85. Okay. So if I'm looking for 98, I know that point has to be past 95, right? Because it's greater than 95. There's only one, so what is it, class?
U.
U. So you would choose D. Okay, and since this dot is really close to 100, what would it round to? 100. Okay, number 3, what is the best estimate for the whole number marked by the arrow on the number line? Okay, again, I want you to find the middle. So what's in the middle of 700 and 800? Javea? Okay, so you should have that labeled 750. So is there any answers I can eliminate already? Kaylee? A. Okay, A would not be a good one because 702 would be really, really close to 700, right? Okay, anything else? Allie?
D and P.
D I want to go ahead and eliminate because that would be right in the middle, right? Okay, so I want to figure out if B makes more sense or C. If I look at this dot, it's almost right in the middle of 700 and 750. So what do you think is going to be in the middle of those? Bryson? C. Very good. 725. You said somebody else did it. Okay, number 4. What is the best estimate for the whole number marked by the arrow on the number line below? Okay, again, you need to find the middle point. It's going from 170 to 180. So what did it skip by?
Tens.
It skipped by 10. So what's half of 10?
5.
5. So this would need to be 175. Okay? Now, I know this dot has to be more than 175, but less than 180. Okay? Is there any that are not in between those two numbers that I can eliminate? Kelsey?
176.
172. 172 would be on this side. Okay? 175 I can eliminate because that would be right in the middle. Okay, so I have 177 or 179. What do we think is the best one?
177.
177? Y'all agree?
Yes.
Yes, good, because 179 would probably be where?
And close to 180.
Good, closer to 180. Okay? Now, if we're looking at rounding on the number line, if my dot is way down here, we see that it's closer to 180, right? So would it round to 170 or 180? 180 because the dot is closer to 180 than it is 170. Why do you think I'm going over that? It's not on here, but I went ahead and talked about rounding because why?
It's gonna be on the power test.
It's gonna be on your power quiz today. Okay? Number 1 on the next page, we went ahead and did 2 pages because we're not doing a lesson today. Y'all are just gonna go straight into your power quiz, so that's why we did
this.
2 practices. If we already did it, is it still okay to go over it again?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still okay. Okay, so just pay attention and listen. That way you understand it the second time. Number 1 says the chart below shows the distance from San Antonio, Texas to 4 other cities. So I've got Buffalo, New York, Norfolk, Virginia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. And these are all our distances in miles. Okay? It says, which expression correctly compares the shortest and longest distances listed in the chart? Okay? So we don't want to just pick the one that is correct. We have to make sure it's using the shortest and the longest. Okay? So the shortest is which one? You can either say the city or the number. Pennsylvania, good. So that's the shortest. What was the longest?
Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York, good. So I know already I can eliminate which ones?
Buffalo.
No. Which answer choice? Because they're not using the shortest and the longest. Is A using the correct numbers?
No.
No. Not supposed to use this one, okay? B, is it using the correct numbers?
No.
No. C?
Yes.
Yes. D?
No.
No. So we didn't even know if it was comparing them correctly. We just needed to know which numbers were the shortest and the longest. Okay? Number 2, which number correctly compares or completes the expression below? Blank is what? How would we say this symbol? Kelsey? Greater than 5,184. So this number over here has to be the bigger number, right? It has to be bigger than 5,184. Okay? So 5,075. Okay? If I just look at it like this, I take away the 5. Is 75 greater than 184?
No.
No. Okay, the next one, I'm covering up the 5 and I just have 90. Is 90 greater than 184?
No.
No. Is 104 greater than 184?
No.
Okay. 201?
Yes.
Yes, it is greater. So D is correct. Okay, any questions on that? All right, number 3. You will have one very similar to this on your test where it has 2 numbers and 2 symbols. Which number is greater than 80,023 and less than 80,203? Okay, if all of my first 2 digits are the same, can I just cover them up and look at the hundreds digits to compare them? If they all start with 80,000? Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and just look at this like that. 13, 132, 208, 302. Okay, so I'm just going to start with this first number 2. I'm not even going to look at the second one. Javay, are you listening? Because this is on your test. Okay. So this says 23 is what? What's that symbol?
Greater. Less than.
Less than this number. So this number right here has to be what compared to that? Bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
It has to be bigger. This one has to be smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put in the number and see if it makes sense. 80,013.
No.
Is that bigger?
No.
132.
Yes.
Okay, so we can keep that one. 208.
No.
Is that bigger than this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so we can keep it. 302.
Yes.
Yes, all of those are bigger than 23. So the only one we could have gotten rid of so far is A. Okay? Now I'm going to look at the second side. This number in the middle needs to be what compared to this one? Less than. Good. So now I need to see which of these 3 that we have left are less than 203. Okay, so I'm going to cover this up. I have 132.
Yes.
Is that less?
Yes.
Yes. 208?
No.
No. 302?
No.
No. Okay. So the only one that works out for both of the numbers is B, 80,132. Go ahead, when you get your test, go ahead and put that number in the middle and then read this all the way and see if it works. 80,023 is less than 80,132. Is that correct? Yes. 80,132 is less than 80,203.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so number 4, what number could be written between 815 and 909? Could A be written in between those?
No.
No, it's too small. It would be over here, right? B?
No.
Why not?
Because it has a 9.
So that means what?
It's behind.
It's behind again, okay? Javea, could 864 be in between these 2? Okay. 913, Jalen, could that be in between these 2 numbers?
Wait,
No, because 913 is going to be after it, right? Okay, so C is correct. And the last one, which group shows the numbers in order from least to greatest? We would think these type of problems would be so easy, but we miss these a lot. Okay. So who wants to tell me what they did? Did you have a certain strategy you used on this? What did you do, Allie?
So I did for A, since it says least to greatest, I looked at all of them and looked in the hundreds to see if they were least, because it says least.
Okay, good. So you wanted to start by finding the answer choice that has the least in front, okay? And then you can eliminate it if it doesn't, okay? So since we're starting with the least, does A have the least in front? Well, I have 24,590. 25,509. Is that bigger or smaller than?
Small.
It's bigger, okay? So 24,950, is that bigger or smaller? Okay, let's look again. I have 590 and 950. Is this one still the least? Yes, because 590 is less than this. Okay, so far they have the least in the front, but is it correct? What's wrong with it, Bryson?
It has
You need to actually say the number. Don't just say the one on this side. We know how to read numbers. Good. If you look here, 25,000 should not be in front of a 24,000 if you're going in order from least to greatest, because 25 is more than 24. So that's where they messed up. This one should actually be next. It should be second. Okay? B. Does it have the least in front still?
Yes.
What about C? No. D?
No.
No. Okay? Because we have a 25 in front, and then we have 24s back here. Okay? 25 should be at the end, right, Bryson? Because 25,000 is greater. Okay? So B should have been your correct answer. 24,590, 24,950, 25,509, 25,905. Okay? So that's a good strategy, Allie. If whatever it tells you to do, it says least to greatest, then make sure your answer choices have the least in the front. Okay? All right. Go ahead and put that away and let's get ready for our power quiz.